It was a dark and stormy night. Black clouds covered the sky, and lightning flashed repeatedly. Far from the city, an old mansion stood on top of a hill. People said that many years ago a mysterious incident had taken place there, after which everyone living in the mansion disappeared without a trace. Ahmed was a YouTuber who created videos about haunted and mysterious places. One day, he heard about the abandoned mansion and decided to visit it at night to record a video. At 10 o'clock that night, Ahmed arrived at the mansion carrying his camera and a flashlight. The mansion's large iron gate was covered in rust. As soon as he pushed it open, a strange creaking sound echoed through the darkness. Inside, everything was covered with dust. Broken furniture and spider webs filled the rooms. While recording, Ahmed explored different parts of the mansion. Suddenly, he heard footsteps coming from the upper floor. He froze. "Is anyone there?" he called out. Only silence answered him. Gathering his courage, Ahmed climbed the stairs. At the end of a long hallway, he noticed a door slowly moving back and forth. There was no wind at all. He carefully walked toward it. Just as he got close, the door slammed shut by itself. His heart began pounding. When he opened the door, he found an empty room. However, written on the wall in red letters was a chilling message. "Leave this place immediately." Ahmed assumed it was a prank and continued filming. Suddenly, his camera turned off. He tried several times to switch it back on, but it refused to work. At that exact moment, he heard someone breathing behind him. He spun around instantly, but nobody was there. Sweat began forming on his forehead. He decided to go back downstairs, but when he reached the staircase, he made a terrifying discovery. The stairs were gone. In their place was a solid wall. Ahmed stumbled backward in shock. He began running through the mansion, but every path somehow led him back to the same room. Then suddenly, all the lights in the mansion turned on. Ahmed stared in disbelief. The mansion had been abandoned for years. Just then, he heard the laughter of a little girl. At first, the sound came from far away. Then it got closer, and then it sounded as if it were right beside his ear. Ahmed trembled with fear. "Who's there? Show yourself!" he shouted, but the only response was the same eerie laughter. Moments later, a little girl appeared at the far end of the hallway. She was wearing a white dress, and her long hair covered most of her face. Ahmed pointed his flashlight toward her. The instant the light touched her, she vanished. Now Ahmed was convinced that something supernatural was inside the mansion. He quickly entered another room and locked the door behind him. Inside stood an old wooden wardrobe. Suddenly, loud knocking sounds came from within it. Knock, knock, knock. Ahmed's breathing became heavy. The knocking grew louder and louder. Finally, gathering all his courage, he opened the wardrobe. It was empty, except for an old diary lying inside. Ahmed picked it up and began reading. Written on its pages were these words: "If you are reading this, then you are trapped too. A shadow lives in this mansion. It allows people to enter, but it never lets them leave." Ahmed's hands began shaking. Then something impossible happened. New words slowly appeared on the final page by themselves. "It is standing behind you." Ahmed's heart nearly stopped. Slowly, he turned his head. In the corner of the room stood a tall black shadow. Its eyes glowed like red embers. Ahmed screamed and ran. He raced through the hallway while heavy footsteps followed behind him. Thump, thump, thump. The faster he ran, the closer the footsteps seemed to get. Suddenly, he entered a large hall. In the center stood an old mirror. Ahmed looked at his reflection, but within seconds, terror froze his blood. His reflection was not alone. Standing behind him in the mirror was the same dark shadow. Ahmed immediately turned around. Nothing was there. When he looked back at the mirror, the shadow had moved even closer. Suddenly, the mirror shattered with a deafening crash. Broken glass scattered across the hall. At that moment, the entire mansion began shaking. Strange whispers echoed from the walls. "You cannot leave. It is too late now. You will stay with us." Crying in fear, Ahmed ran toward the main door. Using all his strength, he forced it open and escaped outside. The rain was still pouring. He rushed to his car and drove away as fast as he could. After traveling several miles, he finally felt safe. He thought he had escaped, but later that night, while reviewing his video footage at home, a chill ran through his body. In the final seconds of the recording, a dark shadow could be seen standing directly behind him. Terrified, Ahmed immediately shut off the video. At that very moment, the lights in his room went out. Then, from the darkness, a soft voice whispered, "You may have left the mansion, but I came with you." A horrifying scream echoed throughout the neighborhood. The next morning, when people entered Ahmed's house, the room was empty. Ahmed was nowhere to be found. Only one message was written on the wall in red letters. "It is no longer in the mansion. It is standing behind you."